not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. This is something that I hear a lot of high performers with perfectionism affirm to themselves and to other people around them. But you see, this is a form of perfectionism. It's a form of self-protection, a form of self-sabotage. You see, perfectionism can be really sneaky like that. When you say that I'm not a quitter, you might think to yourself that it actually is destructive to quit. But in many circumstances, quitting can be really beneficial for your blooming. To be able to say no, to be able to set a boundary, to be able to quit. And so in this video, I wanted to first and foremost self-admit that I am someone that is quitting a lot. I have quit a lot and I continue to quit a lot. And you should too, right? So this is a reminder for you to give yourself permission to quit, to basically let things go, to let go of what is no longer in alignment. It might have been at some point, but no more. To be able to say no when that feels true to you, because that is self-honoring. That is a commitment that you then make to yourself, right? To basically deepen your sense of self-respect. So if you're new here to this Bloom Beyond YouTube channel, then definitely hit the subscribe button to get more videos just like this one to help you create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind. You're so welcome here. And if you're returning, dear light sunflower bloomer, I'm so glad to have you here and you'll get so much value out of this video. I'm so excited about it. So let's dive in. I quit. Why you should too. So first and foremost, yes, I am a quitter. I no longer take pride in saying that I'm not a quitter. But at one point, when I was really immersed in perfectionism, oh my word, I took so much pride in seeing things through always, no matter what. And I'm not saying that that is, something that you should not do, all right? Being able to have integrity with your word is really admirable and honorable, but quitting is sometimes really necessary, all right? It's really necessary for you to actually blossom, to bloom. So stop being the one who takes pride in saying, I am not a quitter. I'm not a quitter, right? I'm gonna get to share with you the different times that I've quit. I'm definitely going to share that with you just so that you see that, you know what, I'm actually a quitter too. You see, winners, bloomers, quit all the time, right? When they bloom beyond perfectionism. So it's necessary for you to bloom beyond perfectionism, to bloom beyond the mindset of right and wrong, good and bad, black and white, to be able to quit things. Because what is actually blocking you from quitting something is that mindset, is that paradigm of, oh, if I quit this, then I am bad, then I am wrong. What if I am wrong? What if I am bad? That is what is blocking you. So when you bloom beyond perfectionism, you no longer have that paradigm. And so you basically then quit. You are much more consistent with being able to honor your energy and time, and being like, well, let's cut it now. Let's just cut it because this is not worth my time. This is not worth my energy. This is something where I could distribute my energy and time in a different way that would be way more beneficial for my blooming and the blooming of all, right? So being able to look at it like that is very beneficial. Quitting sometimes means doing the courageous thing over what is familiar and comfortable. So quitting sometimes means that you are being courageous. Very often that is the case. When you are quitting, it asks you to be brave with yourself, with your life. It asks you to be brave, to be courageous, to tap into your heart, and to trust the universe, to trust the forces beyond you, and just go for it. So it requires you to then bloom beyond perfectionism, because when you bloom beyond perfectionism, you operate from that place of, I am courageous, I am brave. Staying in a relationship, career, business, or a situation that no longer is aligned with your values and fulfillment that's lasting, that's losing connection with yourself. That's wilting and falling. So, when you're staying in whatever thing we're talking about, staying in a relationship, in a career, in a business, or a situation, when that is no longer in alignment with your values, what you stand for, who you are, right? Then that is actually losing. That is wilting, that is falling. And I actually don't like to use these terms of like losing and winning, and like who is to say that someone is losing and winning? Who cares? But it is wilting. It is wilting you. It is having you fall when you don't stay in alignment with what is true to you. So if you just stay in something just for the sake of it, and you do something just for the sake of it, right? That is when you know that it might actually be time to quit this, to make that firm decision. And decision actually means to cut off. So you're then cutting off. And that is the subconscious mind's greatest fear, because the subconscious mind is wired for familiarity. It is wired for you to get familiar with something. It is wired for you to prefer the comfortable over the uncomfortable. So when you cut something off, you step into the unknown, into the unfamiliar, right? And when you do that, that feels like a threat to your subconscious automatic mind. So that is why here at Bloom Beyond, we're dedicated to help you rewire your subconscious mind so that you are wired to make these types of choices, to cut things off, to be bright, to be brave, to be balanced, to have the courage to quit, to have the courage to let things go. Because that is the definition of someone who is a light, a sunflower, and a bloomer. Right? To quit sometimes actually allows you to stay committed to self. So when you quit, think about it this way. Then you are actually committed to yourself. Sometimes quitting something, let's say a relationship or a career or some form of work or some sort of project, whatever it is that you're quitting, even a habit. When you're quitting that, you're saying yes to the connection to yourself. Would you be willing to continue this, to the sacrifice of the commitment and the kind of connection to yourself? That is a question you want to ask yourself. Would you be willing to give that connection up in order to just continue having this thing that you're having, to continue doing the thing that you're doing? Would you be willing to sacrifice that connection with yourself, with the light, the sunflower, and the bloomer within you? Would you be willing to do that? That's a question to sit with and meditate on. Because we're talking about your life here. We're talking about the direction of your future, of which timeline you choose to live on, which reality you choose to live in. You see, when you quit something, you choose something else. So instead of thinking about, oh, I'm quitting this thing, well, then you are opening yourself up to choosing something else. And think about it this way. Oftentimes, too, you are focusing so much on that thing that you're quitting, or that person that you're quitting, the relationship you're quitting, that career, that business, whatever it is. You're focusing so much on that thing that it seems so big in compared to what you could have. But the thing is that your mind is distorted like that, because your mind can't see that there is actually so much more vast potential, that the universe is so vast, that it has so much opportunity for you. But you can't see that because you're focused on what you're losing, on what you're quitting, what you're leaving behind. So being able to shift your focus by rewiring your subconscious mind, which is what we help you with in our Bloom Beyond programs, Bloom Beyond Perfectionism and Bloom Beyond Mastermind, and also within the Bloom Beyond tribe. You can go to the link in the description to find out more and to apply to come in to be part of a free monthly cohort in there to get support to actually begin rewiring your subconscious. But anyways, when you shift your focus to, oh, the possibilities, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. But oftentimes, here's the thing. You no longer, and you won't see the potential until you quit, until you leave that thing behind. Maybe you won't even see that straight away. You'll be like, oh no, I'm losing this thing. I'm losing this person. I'm losing this relationship. I'm losing this career. I'm losing this money. I'm losing this. I'm losing this. No. Just allow yourself to be in that. But at some point, you will see that your spacious awareness opens itself up to the new potential, the new space, the brand new. That is so fulfilling. That is so cool. That is so meaningful. So this is what we're talking about here. And to circle back to the beginning, I quit. And why you should too? Well, you want to do that too because it actually is really beneficial for your blooming. Let me tell you what I have been quitting. I'm quitting things all the time. I really am. I'm very, 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 very discerning on how I spend my energy, on whom I spend my energy, and what I actually do with it. So during my upbringing, I've done so many different things. I did horse riding for probably 3 years where I had my own horse, and then 10 years in total I did horse riding. I quit horse riding. I also was a politician. I was in politics. I was interested in that for a while and did speaking and all this kind of stuff. And I was a leader in a lot of boards, and I quit that too. I was in a lot of organizations. I quit that too. I have also been in a lot of relationships. I've had several friendships that I've quit. Actually, most friendships that I've ever had in my entire life, I've quit. I've quit a lot of relationships. Not necessarily always just saying we're done, but it's just faded out, right? But sometimes actually having that conversation and cutting them off in a way where you're like, this is no longer in alignment for me. This is no longer working for me because this is who I am now. This is what I value now. That conversation is really beneficial to have sometimes in certain relationships, right? And I've been in several romantic relationships too, where, oh my word, I've learned so much. And my pattern in romantic relationships has been very different, where actually the people-pleasing tendency of perfectionism has kept me within the relationships very often up until now, very recently. So most of the time I was the one who had that mindset of, I'm not a quitter. I'm not quitting relationships. I'm not quitting this romantic relationship because I'm in this. I've got commitment here. I'm so envisioned, like I'm so committed to this vision of us and what we could create and blah, 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 right? So engrossed in that. And so those rose-tinted glasses I put on very long. And so I didn't quit romantic relationships for a very long time. I was the one who was broken up with or who was kind of left behind, so to speak, or abandoned, if you want to call it like that. But when I truly bloomed beyond perfectionism, things changed radically, where I took charge of my energy, my time, whom I surround myself with, and I became so discerning that I no longer had that mindset of I'm not a quitter. I was like, I'm a quitter. I actually choose to quit when something is no longer in alignment and we have had conversations and we've done some work together and we have, given our all, we have given so much, but this is not working, when it's no longer in resonance, no longer in alignment, and when the intuition is so strong where it's like the answer of quitting, of leaving it behind and opening up to something new, a brand new beginning, when that intuition is consistent and persistent, that's when you know it's like, okay, I'm quitting now. I'm quitting. And being like, yes, I'm quitting. Not like, oh, I'm quitting. Like shameful. No, I'm quitting. That's empowerment. That's courageous. It is courageous because you have trust in yourself. You have trust in the universe. It's beautiful. So you see, I've been quitting a lot of things. I've also had different businesses. I've also worked different jobs. I worked as an assistant at a shoe shop for like 3 years. I was an assistant at a nursery home for 3 years or 2 years or something, and wedding photographer. I still continue to do, but I feel myself being more and more drawn to and compelled to go fully into coaching, and that is the path I'm on. And I'm like, it's time to make that transition, and I feel that evolution happen within me. And you also know when you kind of no longer find the same kind of joy or spark or have that same kind of like wish to give time and energy to nourish it, that is also a big sign that it's time to quit. So I will continue to be a quitter. I've become a quitter after I bloom beyond perfectionism. And I truly, sincerely, invite you to also take on that mindset of, you know what? I'm a quitter now. I'm going to leave behind that mindset of I'm not a quitter. And I can support you and coach you in that. So you can join the Bloom Beyond tribe to get to know me better, for me to get to know you better, your current situation and desired situation when it comes to perfectionism, when it comes to you having that mindset of, I'm not a quitter, I need to stick this through until the very end of completing something. You know what actually creates pain in the human brain, in the emotional part of the brain, when it's not able to finish a circle? There's several research articles on this, how, when someone draws a half circle, your brain feels compelled to continue that circle and actually complete that circle. So it's kind of painful a little bit for your emotional subconscious mind to not complete something the way that it envisioned. But that's not to say that that is true, that is true to you. That's just your emotional mind. So we can rewire your subconscious mind to think differently about it. So you can choose differently and live differently in more alignment, connection with yourself. Go to the link to the description to apply to come into the Bloom Beyond tribe for a free monthly cohort. I'm excited to maybe see you on the other side. Stay bright, brave, and balanced. Quitter.